Great. Hello, hello, hello. If you need the link, oh wait, I did a thing to make this easier. Where is it? Um, yep. Let's need to. Yes, I did. So if you guys go to sawcheryl.com/Zoom, you can jump in here with me. So that is, put that in the chat. Um, all right, so Catherine, I'm hoping that that is just an hour. Can you, if you can hear me? All right, so Catherine, I'm hoping that that's just an hour. If you can. All right. The budget call on Friday. I am hoping that it will only be an hour. It really is kind of up to the people in the group. You can switch to the morning one if you want to. You're 11. So if you want to do that, just let me know. If you did not hear any of that explanation, I will pop it in the chat in a little bit. All right, so you copy. Wait, I want to do. Okay, so I will move that over. So we have, for anybody that is listening and doesn't know what I'm talking about, I launched a brand new budget workbook, and it is I'm gonna do a class, 2 classes on Friday. So I'm going to do 2 classes on Friday, and the classes, it's going to be noon Eastern. Well, that one is full. So I have 1 spot left for 3 p.m. Eastern. I am limiting it to a very small group of people. No more than 7 per. Why do I have to see myself? I don't want to see myself. This is just.
But we want to see you.
I don't mind over here, but I don't want, it's the delay in the video. It bothers me to see my hands doing this out of the corner of my eye over here.
Because you know when you whisper to yourself, we can hear you.
Okay. Good to know, because I cuss under my breath. So
Okay.
I will try to not be so loud, or I won't do it out loud, or I won't whisper it. Anyway, I'm not really sure what to do about here. How about I do that? Ha, covered it. Okay, so now I can see the chat from Facebook. I can see the chat from YouTube. And if you want to join again, sawcheryl.com/Zoom. I made it really easy. I got these little things called pretty links now. It's so easy. All right. So I did a budget. I did a budget workbook, and I'm keeping the groups very small. there's only going to be 7 people in each group, 8 including myself. And it's going to be private, and the people that are in the 2 groups are getting the budget workbook at no charge. And I just want feedback and a review so that I can help either make it better, write out the instructions, because the way I see things is not necessarily the way you all see things, and maybe, create some videos to help people move through doing the budget workbook and, growing with it. So there's one spot left for 3 p.m. Eastern on Friday. So in 2 days. So if you are listening and you want in, let me know sooner rather than later. And I will get you in and all the links.
Cheryl, will that be a Zoom call as well? So you'll just send us the link with the Zoom call. Okay.
It'll be the same link as this one. So it'll be sawcheryl.com/Zoom.
Okay, thank you.
Keep it nice and easy. And so yeah, it will be on Zoom. It will not be recorded, or if I do record it, it'll only be for my use. I guess I could record it for the use of that particular group, and you all could each get a link to it and keep it private. That way you have that to refer to. You guys can let me know. I think that maybe that's what I should do. I should record it, and if you guys want a link to the recording, I will give you a link to the recording. At least until I get some better training up. So, all right. That being said, it is November 1st. It is the first Wednesday of November. It is the 2nd month of 4th quarter, and it is time to get your bookkeeping done. So we've got Catherine in the house. We've got Dawn in the house. I'm not sure if anyone else. So we've got a couple of people on YouTube that are watching. If you have any questions about doing your bookkeeping, let me know. If not, I think what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about the workbook. And how to use different parts of it. But before I do that, I want to make sure if there's any questions, we get the questions out of the way so that you guys can get your bookkeeping knocked out, because that is what this call is all about. I have made the appointment for you to do your bookkeeping. So mute me. You don't have to listen. Pop in if you have a question. And otherwise, knock it out. Yahira, hi. Question, go for it. Oh yeah, ask a question. I was waiting for you to ask it. Yep, that's what I'm here for today. Can I add that to my, can I add? All right, so Yahira says, can I add that to my expenses? Add what to your expenses? Ruth says, can I change from a line by line to your workbook? Absolutely. Let's get that done. Figgy Flip says, I've never understood losses. Buyer returns an item and then you get item back. eBay gives you fees, but now you lost shipping. Feed is glitchy, FYI. Okay, so Figgy Flips, if you want to, you can join us in the Zoom room and then you won't have to worry about whether the feed is glitchy or not. Hi, Sarah. All right,
Hi.
so in the so Yahira, maybe you haven't gotten the microphone and camera yet. So right, so Sarah, Yahira's here. Yay. So Sarah says returns will pull up in your eBay reports. That's true. So here's the thing. Most of the time, so we have already written off our shipping, right? So when we send the item, our shipping, sending it out is an expense. Our shipping, returning it is an expense. All of that in there is it's already been accounted for. So if we can turn around and resell the item, then we just resell the item. If we cannot resell the item, what I do is when I get the item back, or if for some odd reason I decide not to make them return it, then I go ahead and either make a note to do it when I do my bookkeeping, or I go into my bookkeeping then and take out or expense what the return cost was for the lost item. And at that point, I will just I'll take the whole sale amount, right? And just plug it in. Because 90% of the time we've accounted for everything anyway, and we can resell the item, and otherwise we can't, unless we've sold the item, we can't put a value on it, because the market, what somebody actually pays for it, is the value. And if we get the item back, then we can just, turn around and resell it again. So most of the time our returns are so low and so negligible that I don't worry about them. The only ones that I actually put into the system are ones that I can't resell for whatever reason. It comes back damaged. I don't have it sent back. Something like that. So I guess iPhone that is in is Figgy Flip. So it says, yeah, sometimes item comes back broken. So that's a loss, right? Yes. And in that case, absolutely write the entire amount off as a loss, as a return and allowance in the workbook or whatever it is that you're using to do your bookkeeping. But it would go under returns and allowances at that point. So Ruth in the chat on YouTube said, can I change from a line by line to your workbook? Absolutely. And I highly recommend it. In fact, most of the people that are in here in the call that are using my workbook are going to highly recommend it as well. Or even if you don't use my workbook, it's just the better way to go. Now, that being said, I highly suggest that you have an exercise for at least 100 or so items, at least until you understand the platform that you're selling on, so that you can fully grasp how the fees work before you let it go. Right now, that is not bookkeeping. I'm not saying that to do bookkeeping. I'm saying that you do that as a separate task, as a learning experience to help you understand the way the platform works. Once you get that down, that might be 5 items, that might be 500 items, whatever it is for you. Then you need to, at that point, you can let it go, right? And you only concentrate on the bookkeeping part, which should never be individual items. So iPhone says, you do all your accounting every week or every month? I do once a month. And it takes me, at this point, it takes me about 15 minutes. Now, I say that, and I am currently in the process of adding other revenue streams in. And those are from the money comes through from other platforms. So I'm putting things in place so that I don't have to take a whole lot extra time. So I'm up to right about 25 minutes right now, but that's only because I'm having to add a few other things into my workbook, in order to handle my Stripe payments, calculate my Stripe payments. I already have something for PayPal. So Diane says, sold promoted 0, sales promoted 0, average ad rate %, average ad fees %. Oh, on the workbook. Okay. So sold promoted, average ad rate, ad fees. Okay. Yes, you are in the marketplace section. I'm going to share my screen. They moved the buttons down here and I keep wanting to click the wrong thing. All right, so I'm going to share my screen here. And you are in this section here. This is where you're asking the question. And this is about promoted listings. So if you are doing promoted listings, then you can utilize this section. If you're not currently doing promoted listings, then you can ignore this section. If you are doing promoted listings and you are doing a flat rate across the board, we're going to say 10%, and you're just doing a 10% flat rate across the board, then you don't need to even worry about this section. But what we're going to do is we're going to click on the link, because I've got all the nice little links right there so that you can go directly. And this, you are seeing my particular store, my advertising dashboard. So it's asking for how many sold. Go back to. So it's asking for how many sold under promoted. So that would be 72 for this time period. How much the sales were for promoted. So that would be this number. And then the ad fees for the promoted, that would be this number. So in my case, if I was to plug in here, 72 and 1285.25, 1285, 25, and 123.48. So that's showing you that I have an average ad rate of 9.61% right now. The way that mine is set up, I'm doing dynamic and I'm capping it at 10%. So it's not going to go over 10%, but because it's dynamic and it fluctuates, this way I can look at my workbook and I can compare it month to month to month and see where my average ad rate is. See if if I went to a flat 10% and didn't do dynamic, does that help? Do I have more promoted sales? So it's just all of this stuff again is available in eBay, but what's not available in eBay is being able to see it next to each other week after week or month after month. And down at the very bottom, you can even plug in, each year's totals so that you can look at the year going forward. Like, what did I do? And, next year you can compare this year's to what you're doing in the current year. So let me stop the share and see. Diane, did that help you understand? So she says that is helpful. Does a sale of % off get calculated somewhere? So here's the thing. The way that I do this with eBay, we count all of the eBay fees together. So nothing has to get separated out, right? So when you go to your performance and sales tab and you run it for the previous month, you are going to look at performance sales, and you do for the for last month, generate report, and you're going to look at selling costs. That selling costs is all of the things. It's your promoted fees, it's your store subscription, it's your shipping, it's anything that eBay charged you for anything. It's all in one number. We don't have to separate anything out. All we do is stick that entire number into our workbook for cost of goods sold other, and call it eBay. It's our platform fees, and you're done. That's the only number that you need. So it's calculated, it's in there. The percentage off of the product doesn't matter, if that's what you're asking. So for example, if we have an item listed for $20 and we take a $10 offer, or we put it on sale for 50% off and we only get $10 for it, we can't calculate the $10 that we didn't get. And the reason being is because we are mostly selling used items. And even if we're selling new with tag items, we are not the market, the brand, right? We're not the brand. We're not the Walmart or the Target or the Macy's or whatever. We are just individual people that are able to get these things in and sell them on these online platforms. So because of that, the market dictates the price that we can get, the price that we accept, because we are here to sell items. We are not here to store items, right? So the price that we get is the price that we are claiming, and then all the fees below that. Wonderful. So Diane understands that better now. Perfect. Yahira says, I just realized I haven't been adding my cell phone expenses. Where does that go? Cell phone goes into your main expenses for your business because you cannot run your business without your cell phone. Home phone is going to go into your home office expense tab. All right, let me minimize that. Where did my YouTube go? Oh, here we go. Fix this again so that I can keep up with both chats. All right. Oh, hi, Kimmery. Kimmery's here. If anyone wants to join us on Zoom, click the link. So Diane says, where does home internet go? Home internet. Wait, what in the world? Oh, okay. Somebody was at my front door. Oh, right. Walmart. They have weird people that just show up in their vehicles and drop off packages. It's not like an Amazon truck or something. So home internet goes onto your home expense tab. No, wait. Home internet. Your internet is a main part of your business. You can't do your business without it. It goes in your regular expenses. Sorry. I've had an interesting morning already. Your cell phone and your internet, if you are working from home, your cell phone and your internet both go as a regular expense on your in your expenses. Yahira, I know we had this conversation. No, it's going to be utilities, Diane. All right, so maybe we will talk a little bit about, we've got some new people in the house. So let's talk about categories. All right, so returns and allowances. So this is all Schedule C categories. Returns and allowances. We only use this if we can't resell the item. Advertising. So I'm speaking to a reseller business right now. If you do anything other than reselling, then you feel free to ask me more question about it. But because most of the people that are in the call right now do reselling, I'm gonna just answer questions based on reselling. Advertising. If you have a business card, magnets for your car, if you're putting ads out trying to get inventory in, that would be part of your advertising. Catherine says, does anyone remember from the call this morning that someone was asking about an expense? I don't remember what thing they were asking about, whether we could expense it or not. So if anybody remembers that from one of the calls this morning, then drop it in the chat or speak up. I'm not currently checking the YouTube and the Facebook chats, but I'll do that in a minute. Car and truck expense. Most of the time, we're not using that in as its own category. Mileage will go there. We can add tolls. We can add parking. But unless if you own your vehicle and you're taking mileage, then you're not going to keep track of gas. You're not going to keep track of oil changes and tires and other kinds of maintenance. Catherine says, I just turned 60 and my memory died. Well, happy birthday. Welcome to 60. Congratulations, because there's way too many people that aren't making it that far. And I'm 53 and my memory is shot. So
It's better than not turning 60.
yes, right, exactly. Commissions and fees. Commissions and fees, most of the time that is going to be if you are doing some kind of consignment, any kind of fees that you have to pay somewhere. You can add like your banking fees or ATM fees or any other kind of fees you could put in there as well. Contract labor, that should be pretty self-explanatory. So if you have anybody that's working for you, if they make $600 or more, you have to do a 1099 for them. If they make under $600, you don't, but you still need to keep track of all of those dollars so that you can put it into contract labor. Depletion, ignore that. Depreciation and 179 expense, I'm not getting into those today. But I can tell you that for the most part, we are not going to be using that particular category. What I want you to do is write out a piece of paper and put it in your files, however you do your files for your business, whether you keep them electronically or you have a file cabinet. But just write something up and just say that anything under $2,000 or less, I expense as supplies, and put that in your files. Now, anything that you buy, we're going to, computers, equipment, it doesn't matter what it is. If it is $2,000 or less, you can just drop it into supplies and write it off as one fell swoop. If it is components that add up to more than 2,000, then you would write each one off. So it could be components of something that, like, maybe you spent $5,000 total on your computer. You bought it from Dell. We're going to say that you made an order from Dell and it came up to be $5,000. But when you look at the itemized list from the receipt from Dell, each piece came up to be less than $2,000 that made up that $5,000 total. So you can still write off all the individual things and not have to depreciate it and not have to do the extra paperwork for a 179 expense. Employee benefit program. If you have employees and you offer benefits, that's where that would go. Insurance, not health. So insurance that, yes, depreciation sucks. I hate doing it. Absolutely hate doing it. So I look for every place that I can to get away from not having to do it so that we can just write it off. Unless it makes sense for tax purposes, because we need to carry some stuff forward. So if it makes sense to put the deductions in the future, that's a different story. So there's times where we might want to depreciate something, but most of the time I just want to write the stuff off. Catherine says, if you buy a computer and it's more than 2,000, what is the best way to write it off? So is the computer itself more than $2,000? Or did you spend 2,000? You spent more than 2,000. And if you actually look at the receipt, it comes out that the monitor was 500 and the computer was 2,000 and the mouse was $150, and the software that got added on was $3, you know.
I'm
Catherine?
looking right now. I'm going to look right now.
Because that's usually the way that it happens. So if you can break down the components, then and individual components were $2,000 or less, then write it off. I tend to just do it.
So say that again. If you can.
If you can look at your receipt, your itemized list, and the items are individually less $2,000 or less, then I wouldn't itemize the receipt in my expense tab, but I would make sure that I kept the receipt to show that it was one purchase of multiple items.
And then write each one of the items off.
In your expenses,
Yeah.
you're going to put Dell computer or Dell for computer $5,000.
Okay.
But your backup
Is the receipt that shows all the individual parts.
right.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sarah says, did you build it?
No, but you would think I did for that price.
All right. So Diane says, how do I categorize a contribution to a retirement fund? Stick that under pension and profit sharing. And then make a note over to the side that says retirement plan. So that way that we can keep up with it and put it in the right place when it comes time to do your taxes. It's not going to actually go into that category. Yes, in expenses. If you are making a contribution, you can totally make a contribution from your business directly to a retirement fund. And there's a place to put that in the taxes. For the expense category in the bookkeeping, I want you to put it under pension and profit sharing, and then make a note under why or what that it is a retirement fund. What it's going to happen is you're going to get a 1099 of sorts from them. Anyway, you're going to get a form from the retirement fund that you're actually going to put into your into the taxes, or whomever is doing your taxes will be. But in order for you to try and help keep up with what you've done during the year, you can place it there. You know what? Let me make a note on that, because I'm thinking that I need to double check. All right, so I need to double check about the retirement plan and putting it in there. Because in our expenses on here, if you're not gonna, I can't remember off the top of my head. If you can't get 100% of the deduction for dollar, then I don't want you to put it in your expenses. It'll just be a saving grace at the end of the time. We will save based on this dollar amount, but you'll get extra deductions when we actually do your taxes, or when somebody actually does your taxes. Does that make sense? Sarah says, can I make a contribution to my 1099's person retirement? If so, do you recommend an IRA or business 401k? That's a good question. And they are they're a contractor. I took a picture of that one. I will get back with you on that. That's a really good question. Because they're not an employee, I'm not sure how that plays out.
Yeah, I didn't know if I should put it as like a bonus or if it would be better for me to, I don't know, do it a different way.
Yeah, I want to look into that. I mean, can you deduct it? Absolutely. Whether you're just going to add it to their 1099 as money and then they, for part of their business, they make it as a retirement deduction. I think that's the best way to do it. You're just going to give them the cash per se, and then they can make the contribution for their business. Or if you want to you can always write a check to their retirement plan. But you're going to include the money on their 1099, and then they're going to put it into their Schedule C. All right, so we answered that question. Just have to think it out sometimes, you know. All right, let me double check the chat right quick. All right, nothing new over there because everybody's over here. Okay, so apparently me and Google Sheets does not get along. All right. We'll get back over here. So where were we? We were at insurance. Okay, insurance, not health. So if you have insurance for your business, an umbrella policy, anything like that, that would go into that section. If you can absolutely pay for health insurance. You can absolutely pay for health insurance through your business and take that as a deduction. If anybody is looking to have time with me during Thanksgiving, not if it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, because I'm taking vacation with my family. Okay. Not December 1st through 3rd either. What's that?
Course creation with Sadie.
Ooh. Yeah, I need that, don't I?
Yeah, she said it's a 30-day course building in 3 days.
Oh. So for those of you, there's a couple of people. So Yahira is in the Passive Income Pathways Facebook group. So she hasn't done the other thing yet. But Sarah and I are both in a VIP group that is kicking. Well, I'm not going to speak for Sarah. I will totally speak for myself and say it's kicked my butt. Oh, Yahira's waiting for the next opening. Yay, that will be Black Friday, unless you reach out to me and I can tell you about a side door that you can get in. So there's a little side door that you can get in, not quite yet, but she says, I'm reaching out. Sarah says, do it. Okay, so yeah, I will let you know about the she posted it in the Facebook group, so you can always find it, but I will help you find that post in that group. All right, so I need to block my calendar. Block calendar. Because I don't know if my Thanksgiving is blocked. So I never have time on Friday anyway. I always have Fridays blocked off. Thanksgiving, I'm not sure. That should be blocked off, but who knows what I did. So I just need to really check for Thanksgiving, and then December 1st through 3rd. That just gave me a headache, Sarah. I was literally I'm going to start again. I was literally in the co-working, the VIP co-working. We were going through all of the things for the stuff that's coming up. And Sadie was upset about something. And I was just like talking from the heart, trying to make sure that she understood that it's not her, it's us. And I like start bawling. Man, I was so stressed out during the month of October creating this budget thing that there's people that are going to get to see that on Friday. Well, they've already gotten their downloads, and we're going to go over it on Friday, and waiting to find out if I did all this stuff correctly and have the approval to be in the final product has been so stressful to me. I didn't even realize how stressful it was until I was telling her, and just started bawling. I need something to whew. Man, I'm telling you, I am not a creative person. And when I tell you guys to do things where you are, just to do it and be you and just go for it, I'm like living it, and it's hard. I mean, this part has become easy, but I've been doing this part for 2 years. So, but I'm not a creative person in like making things pretty. Dawn, I sent you the link in Facebook Messenger with the coupon code. So it's the link and says discount code and what the discount code is. So click the link in Messenger, because I know that I've got my little check boxes. It's like I did this thing and then I did this thing. I've got all my little boxes over here that I know that I did it. So if you go into your Facebook message and you don't see it, then send me a message and say, I don't see it. But I'm fairly positive I sent it to you. Again, we've got one slot left for 3 p.m. Eastern time on Friday. Okay, Sarah's got that slot. All right, so it's funny. I'm just starting to get used to your last name. I'm so used to knowing you as Sarah Deals for like 2 years now that But I have your email address. I will message you the link with the code, and then now I'm going to put together the template to send out to everybody. I was just waiting to get all the slots filled. So, thank you, Diane. Dawn says, yes, you did. Brain is glitching today. So is eBay, because I was trying to do listings this morning during text call and none of the pictures would show up. It just kept saying all my pictures were errors. I'm like, no, they're not. It said you can only put JPGs in here or something like that. I'm like, what? That's what it is. Go. Woo. Do the thing. And I was like, didn't matter which picture I chose. Like, nope, not going. I'm like, oh, this is not good. So I went to try and do my listings first thing this morning. Guess who doesn't have any listings done? This girl. Right. All right. So let me double check messages again. Da-da-da-da. Okay. So nobody's talking over there. And it is 12:52. So let me run through this a little bit faster for the rest of these. So interest mortgage, that would only be mortgage interest if you own property in the name of your business. Interest other, that would be things like loans that's in the name of your business, which if that's your name and it is a loan that you got for your business, that's okay too. You can put the interest in there. Legal and professional services, that would be things like me, lawyers, accountants, tax preparers. You get the picture. Office expense, if you're a reseller only, okay, here's office expense, and it's not reseller. So office expense, I want you to think of doctors and lawyers and places like that that have a waiting room, that have coffee service, that have somebody coming in and watering the plants, that have cleaning people coming in. Okay, that's what office expense means. So for us, most of us don't have office expense. All of our stuff will go into supplies. Now there's two kinds of supplies. There's regular everyday supplies, which would be your tape dispenser. Maybe you've got some envelopes to pay your bills with. I don't know. A stapler, a pair of scissors, pens, paper, things like that. Those are going to be regular supplies. Anything that it takes to get your item from you to your customer is going to be cost of goods sold. So it's in my workbook as COGS - materials and supplies. So your labels, your poly mailers, your boxes, those kind of things. Rent or lease vehicles, machinery, and equipment. If you went and rented a U-Haul, for example, to go get a bunch of stuff that better be good stuff, then that's where that particular expense would go. You can also put the gas that you fill it up into that, because it is not part of your personal vehicle. It is part of the rental. And then the next one is a rent or lease other business property, which would be like a warehouse or storage space. repairs and maintenance that get done to your business space. So if you have like this office, for example, and you decided to paint your walls, put new carpet in, put some kind of flooring in, put a new light fixture in, put a ceiling fan in, have electrical work done. If you wanted to get like if you needed to get pest control to come in because of your inventory, then all of those things would go under repairs and maintenance for your direct business. Supplies.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you see my question earlier about can you make home repairs that you can write off if they're not your actual office, like outside repairs, like a door going into your home, or you have to have new shingles or whatever?
Right. So, do you have the most up-to-date workbook?
I believe so.
So in the most up-to-date workbook, there is the home office expense calculator. There is 2 different types of improvement.
Oh, you froze up for me. I think you're frozen. Is she frozen for anybody else?
Yeah, yeah, she's frozen for me too.
Okay. I thought, oh, well, maybe it's me.
That's why I didn't go on first, because I'm like, oh, it might be my computer because it's been glitchy too. So
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
Cheryl, you're back.
Oh, phew. Okay, it says my internet connection is unstable. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the other streams and I will go back in later and
And then she freezes again.
and she's gone. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, she's back now. Are you back? I saw you dancing.
yeah, I figured I would do that instead of talking. Maybe you guys would tell me when I was back.
So when you cut out, you said, do you have the home office expense calculator? Which I do. I pulled it up on my sheet.
Okay.
And then you said there are 2 different categories, and I don't see those. Or I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. So I'm just going to tell you, I don't want to add any issues.
Yeah.
So, if you have a minor repair or maintenance, so if you change your door out, like you were talking about, grass cutting, snow removal, pressure washing, anything that is like that, right? It's just maintenance, it's upkeep. Can you still hear me? Okay,
Yep.
I see Sarah moving. Good. Then that would go under your regular repairs and maintenance on the right-hand side, part of your monthly expenses. If you have a major improvement, a new roof, for example, in addition to your house, that would go under your under the other section on the right. On the left-hand side, I have some sections that say major improvement. So you would type in roof and how much that cost, because those things would have to go in as a depreciation.
And then if your insurance covered, like we had a major hailstorm, we have to get our shingles redone. Insurance is covering it except for the deductible. So you would just put in the amount of the deductible. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I am fairly sure that there's not very many people that are on here right now that saw the video that Catherine probably did 2 years ago. Her and her daughter did. It was the wildest thing I've ever seen in my life. So where she lives, they went outside and her daughter did this thing. She took a bucket of hot water and threw it up in the air, and it just turned into like vapor, snow. Just, yeah, it was the wildest thing I've ever seen. You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, it just it was boiling water and it just evaporated over her head. It just crystallized because it was so cold out. And we already have snow here, and I'm already crabby about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Hey, you're not the only one. We have snow here too. And
Good. Where are you, Don?
southern Wisconsin. I like to put the southern part in so I feel warmer, but
Yeah, we're in Northwest Minnesota. So yeah, I
yeah,
did.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
That it probably snows there what, 10 months out of the year? It's cold.
It's so terrible. And my dog loves the heat. And I had to tell her the other day that there's going to be at least 7 months of snow, and she was not happy.
I ordered hand warmers off of Amazon yesterday. I'm like, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm so cold already. And I'm in the house.
I know.
We have a freeze warning for tomorrow. I'm in Southern Maryland. Yahira says she has 2 huskies and they love it. The dog that we used to have, her name was Snickers. And it was so funny because if you told her there's snow, she, even at 18, 19 years old, she looked like a little, you could see the puppy come out in her face.
Aw.
She loved the snow. She would go out there and just lay in it. We had to force her to come in the house. The 3 that I have now, they won't go out if the ground is wet. They're like, ew, who do you think we are? I've got snowsuits, base layer, and it doesn't get, if if I went to someplace like to where Dawn and Catherine are, the dogs would run away from home. They would go to somebody's house and say, please take me anywhere but here. My parents
Yeah, mine
won't be here, and this is the worst.
Mine tucks her tail and just curls her back and hunches down like I've abused her, and then just starts backing up from the door. The minute the cold air hits her snout, she just curls into herself and backs up. And I'm like, no, you have to go to the bathroom outside. I'm sorry. Going inside will not be an option.
My dogs don't care. They're in and out, and doesn't matter what kind of weather it is.
Wow. Okay, so I shut down the other things so that I didn't see any of the questions. I mean, I can't see any, but nobody was asking anything anyway. Catherine, is your question answered?
Yes, but I did realize that I must not have the most current workbook because I don't see the major expense thing on
Okay,
it.
I'll show you right quick what it looks like. So it looks like this.
Yeah, I don't have that one, so I'll have to
Okay.
change.
I mean, at this point in the year, if this is the only thing that you don't have, don't worry about it.
Okay.
If you do a major expense now, okay, you're just doing the deductible, and it's below $2,000, right?
Yes, but
Deductible.
the actual repair is not happening until next spring,
Okay,
but our deductible is paid already. So we would count that for this year's taxes, correct?
sure. How much is your
It's
deductible?
$1,000
Okay, so then just put that over here,
okay.
just in your regular repairs and maintenance. If you put on a brand new roof and it was coming out of pocket, that's going to go under a major improvement to property.
Okay.
If you built an addition, if you did something that was 5 plus 10 plus grand, something major, put in a new kitchen is usually like 30 grand. that's going to improve the resale value, the property value of your home, that needs to go under major improvement to property so that it can be depreciated. There's that nasty word again. But at least there, it's a little bit easier than it is. It's easier to depreciate under the home office expense than it is under the regular stuff. All right. So taxes and licenses, if you have them, if you have to actually get a license, licensing for your area. Travel and lodging, or travel for lodging. If you are traveling for your business, then you can take all of the miles to get there and back, even if you're not working all the time. So it's all the miles there and back. It is all the lodging there and back. And it is the lodging on the nights of the days that you work, of the nights of the date that you work. Yahara says, what if you are flying? If you are flying, then, and you are going to be working, the trip, the intention of the trip is to work when you get there. And that is always what the intention of the trip should be, is that it's business. It doesn't mean you can't have fun when you get there, but the intention of the trip is business. Then your flights there and back are deductible. Your hotels, your lodging for there and back are deductible. If you're like me and you stay in a campground, the campground is deductible. You don't have to stay in a hotel for it to be deductible. So doesn't matter where you stay. If you are paying to stay somewhere that is not your home, it's deductible. Meals on travel days are deductible. Meals on work days are deductible while you're traveling. Utilities, cell phone and internet, absolutely 100% stick those in there. Utilities outside of that would only be if you are paying for like electric or water or something because you have a storage unit or a warehouse. So I've got 3 other miscellaneous expenses. So I've got continuing education, subscriptions, and an itemized category. Okay, Catherine, thanks for coming. Itemized category is anything that I haven't covered somewhere else. And then we've got 3 cost of goods sold, COGS, inventory purchases, materials and supplies, and other costs. So inventory purchases, that's pretty self-explanatory. Materials and supplies, anything that it takes to get from you to your customer. And other costs is going to be platform fees, shipping that's outside of the platform. So that pretty much covers the expenses. And someone asked me for a PDF. So somehow or another, I need to type all this up. It's really pretty easy for me to ramble it off. It's a lot harder for me to put it on paper. All right, so we are a little bit over. That's okay. I just want to make sure that everybody's got clear understanding. Did anyone that's here get their bookkeeping done? When are you going to get it done? If it's not done yet, let me know. I'm going to, if you are in my Facebook group, I'm going to put a post in the chat that says for accountability, to list when you're going to have it done, and then come back and comment that it is done. Because I want to see everyone done. It's the 1st of November. I want to see everyone done within the first week. Oh, real quick. You're using the workbook. Go to your bank account online. Figure out how you can download the CSV file. When you get the CSV file downloaded, you open the expense tab on the workbook. You have the CSV file open. You copy the column, like the date column, and then paste it over into the workbook. You copy the amount column and you paste it over into the workbook. All right, let me rephrase that. We only want the debits. We don't want the credits. So if you need help with that, let me know. I need to do a little bit more, but I just want to put that out there since you guys are working on it. You want to copy and paste the date and the debit and what it goes to, and then you just go back and choose your categories, and it will seriously cut down the time that it takes to enter your stuff. And even your cash is going to be there, right? Because it's part of your ATM receipt. So even your cash is going to be there. So you don't actually have to look at any of the receipts. If you use a credit card and your credit card is all gets used for, let's say, inventory purposes, bless you. Then you, it's super easy to just take your credit card payment and mark it as inventory. Now, that being said, you can, I will not be cursing you for sneezing. Is that what you're saying?
No, I for sneezing. No, I was going to the point where it's only dedicated to the business, the credit card or the checking account. Yes, I know we've gone through this before. I even have a note: open new checking account.
You haven't done that yet?
No.
You better be glad it's cold out there. When it thaws.
That's a New Year's resolution thing, I think.
No. We're not waiting for New Year's. Like, seriously, you can do this crap online.
I know.
There's no excuse.
I know. Yeah, you can do it online. I was halfway through and then they needed a picture of me. And I'm like, oh my God, I look like hell right now. I can't take a picture of me. That's where it stopped. So I tried.
They're not using the picture anywhere. Nobody's going to see it.
Somebody will have to see
Literally
it.
AI.
Okay. Well, okay. I have no excuse then.
You have no excuse. So you've got 2 hours.
Oh my God, 2 hours?
2 hours. I don't care if your listings aren't done. You go get that bank account done right now.
Wow. Junior tech we got going on here. Okay, I see that look. Jeez.
Look, all I'm
first thing
asking
is
you
gonna
to do
start-
is go make the account, okay? We'll talk about starting to switch things over to the other account on Friday. Just go make the account. Please.
Fine.
I love you.
I love you too, Cheryl.
I can't fix it. I can't help you if you guys don't do what I ask you to do. And I have reasons. I always have reasons. I'm trying to protect you.
I know you do. And this was something I was supposed to do like at least 6 months ago, if not more.
Yeah. And it's
Thank you.
November. That's why I'm giving you 2 hours. It's 1:15 my time. So at 3:15, I'm calling you out.
Oh, good God. Okay, bye.
3:15 my time. That's 2 hours.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
All right.
I'm setting an alarm.
Oh, geez.
Call Dawn in 2 hours. Hang on. I'm going to do this right now. I'm not kidding you. Let's see. Timer. Okay, so I want to do it that way. 2 hours. 1, 2 hours. All right. Start.
All right. I'll get on it right now.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for,
Yeah.
pushing me in the right direction.
It's
Kicking my ass a little bit in the right direction.
so I was talking about Sadie earlier. Sadie's birthday is the day before mine. So she's April 9th and I'm April 10th. I literally found out what it was like to have me talk to people, to be on your side of me, being on my side of her. And I was like, damn, I need to go apologize to people. So I'm sorry, but I'm saying it with love. I love you and I want what's best for you guys. So yes, I'm very blunt and I get very loud, and I know that about myself, and I want you guys to know that about me too, that I don't tell you anything that isn't for your benefit. So Dawn, bye. You're wasting time.
Bye.
All right. We're going to end this now anyway. Everyone that was here, thanks so much. I appreciate the questions. Join the Facebook group, Accountability for Your Bookkeeping. I want to see done by the 7th of November. All right. Love you all. Have a great day. See you later. And if you're in the budget stuff that we're doing on Friday, I will see you then in the Zoom room.